I want to welcome you all here tonight. Shabbat Shalom. I am very excited because tonight I get to do very little. The kids are going to be leading much of the service and doing a fantastic job. But we are going to start by lighting candles. So I'm going to I want to invite anyone who wants to join me in the blessing. And anyone who is joining us online, now is the time to light your own candles. Okay. So the candles are lit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishal mitzvosav v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. And it's customary for a lot of families on Shabbat to bless their children, bless their partners, bless the people they love in their lives. And so we're going to take a moment to do just that. And you can, if you're near your loved ones, you can put your arms around them and give them a hug. If they are further away, you can just hold them in your hearts. Parents, if you want to be with your kids right now, that is okay. And if you are further away from the people that you love and they are not in this room or they are not on the Zoom, you can just hold them in your heart and think of them and give them a blessing that way. And you can also put a hand on your own heart and bless yourselves. So the blessing that we're going to say in English is, be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. May you be healthy, may you be safe, and live with ease. Amen. So, and some people say in Hebrew to their kids the priestly blessing. So if that is your custom, you can do that. And if not, and that is also okay. So now that we are, hello, welcome. So now that we are coming into Shabbat, before we get our service started, I wanted to tell a story. I'm also going to tell another story a little bit later, but I want to start us off. There was a very long time ago a nobleman who was on a journey. And before he set out, he did not look at a map. He did not figure out how much time it was going to take him to get where he was going. And so it started to get dark. And he's like, I don't want to be walking on this road in the dark. I've lost my horse. Things are not going well for me. I'm just going to knock on this door of this house, and I'm going to hope that people have room for an extra guest for dinner. So he knocks on the door of the house, and they open up the door, and there's this nobleman, and he's like, hi. Sorry to bother you. Can I join you for dinner? And the family says, of course, sure. We're just sitting down to our Shabbos dinner. Please join us. So the nobleman sits down with them, and the family starts singing songs and there's delicious stuff to drink, there's delicious stuff to eat. Everyone is hugging each other and blessing each other. And the nobleman says, wow, this is really nice. I like this. And even better than the company, I'm noticing the food tastes really wonderful. I've never tasted food like this before. And he says to his host, what's in this food? What's the secret ingredient? And they say, oh, the secret ingredient is Shabbos. It's like, okay, I got to get some of this Shabbos to bring home to the family. Can you just like package it up and tell me where to get more? And they're like, it doesn't work that way. The special ingredient of Shabbos is that we're all trying our best to be together and make things nice for each other. We're slowing down. We're paying attention to who's here, and we're enjoying every bit of what's happening right now as much as we can. And so that's what we're doing on Shabbat. That's what we're doing by being together tonight, is we're slowing down, we're enjoying being together, and we're especially enjoying that this is the first Friday Night Live that we've been able to have since the high holidays. So with that, I'm going to invite up Mora Anna's class, and we're going to say a Shechianu. Shechianu is the prayer that we say for special moments, for new and exciting moments. Everyone is getting their prayer books and getting ready. So this is a prayer that we say for special moments. Thank you, God, for helping get us to this moment so that we can pay attention to it and celebrate it. I'm going to move the microphone just a little bit so that it is closer to people's voices. This one also. All right. Ready?
Yeah. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Shechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. So, and I'm going to ask all of you to sing a special song as well, the Bim Bam song. Ready? Bim Bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom,
hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey,
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
hey.
Beautifully done. Yasher kochachem. Well done. Okay, so I'm gonna ask, so Simon is gonna stay up, and Ilana is going to stay up, and Austin also? Yes. All right. So we're going to turn to page 5 in our prayer books. Do you like your book?
I'm not ready.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll be here
I'm
in 1
ready.
minute. You ready? Okay. Great.
Are these microphones on?
So page 5 in our prayer books, at the bottom of the page is where Shalom Aleichem is. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh done. Okay. So, now I'm going to ask us to turn to page 11 for Lachuna Ranana. And I'm going to ask Lila and Azalea and Audrey and Hannah Kay to come up and lead. Whoop. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Welcome. Okay. Ready? Lehune ranina ranina la donai naria litso yishenu. Lehune ranina ranina la donai naria litso yishenu. Nekama fana betoda bismiro naria lo. Nekama fana betoda bismiro narialo lehune ranina la donai naria litzori sheinu lehune ranina la donai naria litzori sheinu. Beautiful job, Yasher Kochachem. Okay, so 14, you're right, we're turning to page 14. And you and your sister are both going to come up and lead. Ilana and Abigail, please join us. Okay. And we're starting with the carrot on page 14.
Yismechu hashamayim hashamayim Yismechu hashamayim hashamayim Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz Yiram hayam Yiram hayam Yiram hayam Ulo Yiram hayam Yiram hayam Yiram hayam Yismechu hashamayim hashamayim Yismechu hashamayim hashamayim Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz.
Yasher Kochachem, well done. I love that everyone is joining in. It just makes my heart glad. Often on Friday nights, we're on Zoom and I only hear my own voice. And just hearing this chorus of everyone joining together is wonderful.
Next page 20.
You are right. Next, we are turning to page 20. You know your stuff.
I know how to do it.
Yes, you do. But I'm going to ask Simon, when you're ready, and Austin to come up and lead it for us. So we're going to do Romamu at the carrot. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu L'Hakacho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu L'Hakacho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu L'Hakacho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu L'Hakacho.
Well done. Yasher Kochachem. You think page 23? I think you're right. Page 23 is Lecha Dodi. It is the song where we welcome the Shabbos bride. So we're going to do the first 2 verses on this page, and then we're going to jump to page 25 because it is a very long song, and we're going to do the last 2 verses on that page. And when we get to the very last verse, we're going to rise if we're able and bow to greet the Shabbos bride as she comes into our space, coming in from the door and then into the room. So for this, I am going to ask Noah's whole class to come up and lead. And let's tilt that up a little bit, and if you can step back just a sec. Perfect. Yay. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
L'chaladodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. L'chaladodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu ochav yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemu tiferet v'liti la 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 l'chadodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. L'chadodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, keep the core, ha'bracha, be'rosh miked and b'sucha. Sofased machshava l'chadodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. L'chadodi, l'ikrakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala.
And we jump to page 25. And our pros seem to already be there. Amazing.
Yaminu Smo Tifrotzi, Adonai Taritzi, Adonai Ben Partzi, Nismecha Nagi La 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 Chatoti, Likali Krakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala, L'chadodi, Likali Krakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala.
And we rise if we're able, and we turn towards the door to welcome the Shabbos bride.
Boli v'shalom, b'ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzala, to'eh b'unei amzimzula, boli kala, la la la, l'chadi, l'kali kakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala, l'chadodi, l'kali kakala, B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala. B'nai B'nai Shabbat Nikabala.
Yes, your kochachem. Hold on, we've got a thing before we get there. But you are right about what we are singing next. Yasher kochachem, you can sit down for a second. Hold on, hold your horses. So there is a tradition that after L'chadodi, because we're transitioning into our evening service and because people are turning towards the door, that this is a moment where we welcome into our community people who are currently mourning for a loss. And we don't know who all is joining us online tonight, and we want to acknowledge people who are in mourning. So on page 26, we have the traditional words of comfort, and I want to extend them to the Bloom family for the loss of Bobby, and to Marcia Locke and the Locke family for the loss of Melvin. And the traditional words are, Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ar ve'lev Zion v'Yerushalayim. May the one who is present everywhere comfort you along with all the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. May you remember you're not alone. So now we do turn to page 27. So I'm going to ask Lila and Audrey to come up for this one. All right. This is the special psalm for Shabbat. Whenever you're ready.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשם העליון, זמר לשם העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונת כל הלילות, עלי אסור עלינו, ועלי היום וליום. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון.
Wonderfully done. Yasher kochacham. So now we're going to turn the page to 28, and we have a special treat, which is that the kids in our religious school have been learning a special dance to go with Tzaddikat Tamar. So they are going to be dancing
Our circle to get a little.
and showing how God is having us spread out in all directions, like a tree planted in a courtyard that has plenty of room.
Okay, are we ready? Okay,
So
here
I'm
we
going
go.
to turn the microphone so that people can
Yeah,
hear.
we'll let them-
There we are.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Tzaddikat Tamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzaddikat Tamar Yifrach, Tzaddikat Tamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzaddikat Tamar Yifrach. כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה יזכה. כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה יזכה.
Yes, your kochacham. Lovely. Okay. So, and with that, we're going to go from gladness and dancing to a more somber note. At this moment, we take a little time for a mourner's Kaddish on page 30. Mourners and those observing a yard site, please rise if you're able. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyamechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmerav v'murach le'olam omen amaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shmei de Kudusha Brechu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So with that, we're going to take a little break from praying. We're going to have a story. Actually going to have two stories that are linked. So, a long, long time ago, there was a kid who was never quite where they were supposed to be. This was a really unpredictable kid. And we're going to call this kid Sam. And Sam was wandering around one day, and Sam's dad wanted to find Sam and looked for Sam in the classroom, and Sam was not there. Sam was supposed to be in the classroom. Maybe Sam is in the sanctuary with people who are praying. It's in the sanctuary? Not there. Wandered around looking for Sam, finally found Sam in the forest. And Sam's dad was kind of upset at having to wander around looking. What are you doing in the forest? You're supposed to be in school or in synagogue. I was expecting to find you there. And Sam said, well, I went to talk to God. And Sam's father said, Sam, God is everywhere. God is the same everywhere. You can talk to the same God in the forest, in the synagogue, in the classroom. God is everywhere. God is the same everywhere. And Sam said, God may be the same everywhere, but I'm not the same everywhere. I go to the forest because when I'm in the forest, I'm a different person, and I want to talk to God when I'm that person. And Sam's dad said, yeah, you have a point. That's interesting. Okay. So a little while after this, Sam said, okay, some places are different, but I want to see if some times are different. What would happen if I celebrated Shabbat on a Tuesday? Would it still feel like Shabbat? And Sam's dad said, that's an interesting experiment. Why don't we try that? So, sure enough, Monday night, they said Kabbalat Shabbat, and then on Tuesday morning, they had the chocolate donuts that they always had on Shabbos morning, and they had challah with their meal. It was delicious. And then Tuesday night, they made Havdalah. And so Sam's dad said after that, so, how was it? Did it feel like Shabbos? And Sam said, it felt exactly like Shabbos. Wait a minute, I thought Shabbos was supposed to be a special time. Why did this feel like Shabbos? Something should have felt different. And Sam's dad went to the rabbi with Sam and said, why did Shabbat feel the same on a Tuesday that it would feel like on a Saturday? And the rabbi thought about this for a second and said, oh, you know what it is? All week long, Shabbos goes through the world, wandering around, waiting to see where it's going to have an opening, where someone is going to let Shabbos happen and exist. And Fridays and Saturdays, that's easy. Everyone is opening themselves up to Shabbos. But the rest of the week, Shabbos has nowhere to be. And so Shabbos was very excited to get an extra invitation. And you can make Shabbos happen. You just have to let it in. You just have to give it room. And so the time that we spend on Friday and Saturday letting Shabbat in and giving it room is when we're letting Shabbat into our space. And whenever we do that, Shabbat arrives and everything feels special. Wait, Ilana had a question and then Lila had a question. Ilana? Today is Shabbat. Amazing. It is not night. Well, it's dark out. It's already night. Yeah. Lila.
We do Shabbat morning services on Tuesdays too.
This is true. This is true. Every Tuesday, we have religious school and we bring a little taste of Shabbat into our space. It may feel a little bit different because we're with our friends and we get to have snacks afterwards, and it's a day when we had school earlier, so it may feel a little different. Ooh, it might feel like a sleepover. I like that. Okay, so we get a little taste of Shabbos on Tuesdays, and then we get a big taste today. Excellent. Okay, so with that, we're going to go back to our prayer service. We're going to turn. Why don't we celebrate Shabbat on Monday? Maybe we should try celebrating it every day, but then it might be a little bit less special. Okay. So we're going to turn to page 39. You can turn to 39A or B. It makes no difference. Both are good. And we're going to do the Barhu. I'm going to ask Lila to lead us. And I'm going to ask everyone who is able to rise, if you can, for the responses. Either way. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Yesher Kochich. You may be seated. Ma'avir yom u'mevi laila, mavdil ben yom u'ben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamari v'aravim. So we're going to turn to page 40 for a prayer called Avat Olam. God has loved us with a timeless love. And a teacher of mine said that a good way to say this prayer is to think of someone who loves you very much and makes you feel loved and safe, and to think of that whenever you think of God loving you in this prayer. So we're going to hold on to those thoughts. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Chavta Torah Mitzvot Chukim Mishpatim Otanu Limadeta Al Ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachveinu U'bekumeinu Nasiach B'chukecha V'nismach B'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha Li'olam Va'ed Ki heim chayenu V'orech yameinu V'orech yameinu U'vahem negei Yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla V'vachal tasir mimenu li'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. So we're going to do the Shema now, and I am going to ask Azalea and Hannah Kay and Marley to come up and lead for us, and they're going to lead the Shema in the first paragraph, page 41. Ready? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al babecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech v'shaftecha uv'kumecha v'shatam me'od al yadecha v'tutafot b'einenecha I'm going to dash into my office for a second, get a drink of water. The air is very dry. One moment. Please continue with the Shema on your own during this break. So we're going to turn to page 45. So this is a prayer that I've loved since my childhood. It's a new one for some of our kids. Some of our kids it may be familiar. This is called Hashkivenu. We ask God to help us sleep peacefully at night so that we can get refreshed and restored and feel like our best selves when we wake up. And that's something that we especially want on Shabbat, where we're supposed to rest. So we're going to do the first 3 lines on the page and then jump down to the last 3 lines on the page. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. The last three lines. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. So we turn to page 46 for Vishamru. I'm going to ask Abigail and Lila to come up. Oh, Marley as well, absolutely. Page 46, top of the page. And I'm going to ask everyone to please rise. There are two traditions about why we stand for this prayer. One of them is that Shabbat is a gift, and we stand to show our gratitude when we get a gift. And the other is, Vishamru is saying, this is witnessing the covenant between God, who created the earth, and the Jewish people. And so we're all witnesses. And when you give testimony in court, you have to stand up. So we're standing up to give witness. All right. I want you to stand a little bit back from the mic just so you don't bang into it. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. איש רבים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
So we're going to continue on the bottom of the page. If you're able, keep standing. It's okay if you need to sit down. The Chatzi Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, ve'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyom echon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, u'bizman karev, v'imeru amen, yehei shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'olam, le'om, e'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalel, shmei dekudisha, rechu, le'la min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damihiram be'alma, v'imeru amen. So at this point in our service, we're going to take some time to each talk privately to God. And you can say to God whatever you want to say. If you want to say the words of the Amidah, you can find them on page 47. If you want to say something different, you can say the words that are just in your heart. A lot of people stand for the Amidah. It literally means standing. So I invite you to do that if you're able. And we'll come back together with Oseh Shalom, actually with Shalom Rav afterwards. And then we'll continue. And I just want to call your attention to one of the quotes on the margins of page 47. This is a favorite of mine. Midnight at the rabbi's door, the Creator listens intently to know by which of his or her names will he or she be called tonight. So you can think about what are the many names of God, and which one do you want to call on tonight? All right. Page 51, Shalom Rahav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol Shalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol Shalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. So we're going to turn to page 53 for the symbolic repetition of the Amidah. And if you're able, please stay standing until we get through the first two paragraphs. And when we get to the third paragraph, if you want, you can sit down. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz, page 53, v'chol tzivam, vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi, melachto asher asa, vayishpot biyom hashvi, mikol melachto asher asa, vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi, vayikadesh oto, ki bo shalach mikol melachto, asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Kodesh Shamayim v'Aretz, Magen Avot Bidbaro, Mechei Metim B'Mamaro, Ha'el HaKadosh Ein K'mohu, Haminiach La'amo, B'Yom Shabbat Kadsho, Ki v'amratza l'aniach lahem, Ki v'amratza l'aniach lahem, Lefanav navo b'yira v'fachad, V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tanid, Me'on habrachot. El Hahod Hahod Adon HaShalom Mekadesh HaShabbat U'Marech Shavi U'Meniach B'Kedusha La'amedu Shnei Oneg Zecher L'Maaseh V'Reishit Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Ritzei b'Mnuchatenu Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu, liavtecha behemet, v'hanchilenu, Adonai Eloheinu, v'yahava uvratzon, Shabbat Kadshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael, Mekadshei Shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. You may be seated if you wish. Page 54, Kaddish Shalem. Yikadav Yikadash Shemei Rabba, Be'alma Divrach Yirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayachonu V'yamechonu, V'chayerecho Beit Yisrael, B'agalav Izman Kari V'yimeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Le'olam Maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yinaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudashah, B'rechu, Le'la Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tishbechata v'nechemata damiram be'ama v'yimeru. Amen. Tikavat zlaton avaton decho Yisrael kadamu v'hondu b'shmai v'yimeru. Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimeru. Amen. So at this point, we are going to do Kiddush and Motzi, and I'm going to do Kiddush, but then I'm going to ask all the kids to come up and help me with Motzi. So that'll be fun. So be ready. We're not doing it yet. Wait for it. Okay, and Kiddush can be found on page 55. So rise if you're able. I'm going to say Savri, which means with your permission, and you give me permission by saying L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshal mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho v'yavav ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kadshecha v'yavav ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Don't want there to be any spills. It is grape juice, I will warn you. I'm not slinging things back. So now we do hamotzi. I'm going to ask everyone to come up and help. Okay, what I want is for everyone to either touch the challah or to touch someone who is touching the challah. Can you all get in there? Yay! All right, ready? Hamotzi lacha min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lecha min haaretz. Amen. Wait for it. We're going to put a little salt on it.
Is it okay to do both?
Yeah, you can do both, so everyone can tear a piece. Yeah, go for it. Yes.
Can we eat it?
You can eat it!
Wait, why'd you put salt on it?
Because the challah represents the sacrifice that someone would have in the temple on Shabbat. Go for it. And,
I did
my
it.
piece? Go for it. Tear it off. I need to have a piece, but you can have the rest. Okay. So, the challah represents the sacrifices that we used to do. No, it's okay. Okay. In the temple on Shabbat. And the sacrifices were always salted. So we salt the challah before we eat it when we're blessing it for Shabbat. That was a very good question. Okay. Once we have finished our chewing and swallowing. You're hungry and you want more? Well, guess what? We're almost done with our service, and after our service, there are going to be snacks. Yay! Okay, so we're going to turn to page 56 for Aleinu. If we are able, we are going to rise or remain standing if we are already standing. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latekedu la'liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo somanu k'mishpechot hadama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vedor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei lachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim Ve'yoser Haaretz, U'moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Imaha, U'shchinatu Zo, V'gavim Meromim, U'Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu Efesulato, Kakatuv B'Torato, Viratayom Vashevota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bam 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 Bashamayim Imaha, V'Aharetz Mitachat Einon. Katuv b'toratech Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz hayom ahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad u'shemo. You may be seated. So we take some time at the end of our service to offer a mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 58. And this week in our community, we are mindful of the yahrzeits of Florence Edgars, Lillian London, Dorothy Shapiro, Audrey Werner, Milton Wittenberg, Isaac Schneider, Harold Woolrich, Harry Krantzman, Levi Lappin, Bessie Marcus Goldman, Leona Raskin, Beatrice Rudnick, Francis Smith, Samuel Lerner, Shelley Litwack, Annette Sallet, Beatrice Brown, Wilma Eagerman, Rochelle Litwack, Nathan Weiss, Edith Grossman, Gladys Perlin, and Hyman Gordon. And again, we extend our condolences to the Bloom family for the loss of Bobby Bloom, and to Marcia Locke and the Locke family for the loss of Melvin Locke. Page 58. Please rise if you are mourning or saying Yartzeit. Yikadal v'yikadash me'rabah, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'me'el maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei dekudusha b'rechu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We're going to take a moment for announcements before our final song. You have an announcement? We'll do that in a moment, but we do have announcements first. Shall I do them or? Okay. So first of all, welcome. Thank you all for being part of our service. Thanks especially to all of our kids for leading so beautifully. Really, Yasher Kochachem to each and every one of you. Amazing jobs. There are a few events coming up. Sunday at 10 a.m., I'm going to be having a conversation with whoever wants to be here about navigating interfaith holidays. Just how to have conversations about how to share our joy of our holidays and other people's joy of their holidays without discord, and feeling like there's room for all of us in our families and friend groups, and helping people share resources for talking through any issues that they have around that. Later that day at noon, Sisterhood celebrates Jewish women in film at noon. Tuesday night, it is not Shabbos, but Reb Nikki will be leading her class on Judaism and environmentalism. And I am going to be teaching History of Halakha Wednesday at noon. We have a special service Sunday at 2, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. Someone is going to come from Leket Yisrael and talk to us about food insecurity within Israel and who is doing what kinds of work to address food insecurity in Israel. And please join us on the first night of Hanukkah, Wednesday, December 25th at 5:30 for community Hanukkah lighting. So that'll be lovely. I'm going to leave it at that. And please join us if you would Shabbos morning for services. Services start at 10, but I come in, as you well know, at 9:30 to tell stories to the kids, so it'll be great stories this morning. So with that, I'm going to turn things back over to the kids. I'm going to ask everyone to come up to lead Adon Olam, which is on page 211. Yes, it is. Take your time. Take your time when you're ready. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa,
Li'et Nasa
V'Esther
V'Esther
Kol, Azai Malach Shemo Nivra, Adon Olam, V'Yacharek Yiklot HaKol, Le'Ado Yimot Nora, Adon Olam, V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, V'Hu Yeh B'Tifara, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
V'terem Kol,
V'terem Kol
Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa,
Li'et Nasa V'Esther Kol, Azai Malach Shemo Nivra, Adon
Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa V'Esel Kol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzor V'li V'etzara, Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanosli, V'nakosi V'omikra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa
V'Esel Kol,
Azai Malach Shemo Nikra,
Adon Olam, Bi'ado Akid Ruhi, B'eti Sham B'yayira, Adon Olam, B'im Ruhi, Giviati, Adon Ali V'lo Ira, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach, B'terem Kol
Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa
Li'et Nasa V'Esel Kol,
Azai Malach Shemo Nikra,
Adon Olam. Yasher Kochachem. Good Shabbos, everyone. Please join us for Parv snacks in the next room if you can. It was wonderful to celebrate Shabbat with you all. There are other snacks, but I don't think we have any more challah.